when I was in Los Angeles, California, right? Well, let me say what time it is first. It's 11:37 p.m., August 24th, 2026. When I was in Los Angeles, California, I got there on July 12th, 2024. I was at the Los Angeles Mission Shelter on 5th and San Pedro Street. They told me since I did not have a smoking or drinking problem because I've been sober since February 2023 to go to the Union Station and ask for the Metro people to set me up with a place that's more suitable for my residency as far as having a place to live at, not just a every single day shelter where I could book a bed, because the LA Mission Shelter, you just book a bed. You book an emergency bed. But the larger point that I'm making is I reached out and told people back in the day, even at them shelters, that I've been celibate since February 2022, and the last time I engaged in sex was in February 2022, and the lady that I engaged in sex with was this lady named Martha. You know what I'm saying? I found out in like 2025 her name was Martha, because when I first met her in early 2022, early February 2022, she told me her name was Alicia. So the whole point I'm making is this. I brought that up to people at the LA Mission Shelter. By the time they sent me to the Testimony House of Love Shelter on Slauson and Western from July 18, 2024 to September 11, 2024, the time I lived there, I brought that up to the lady that was a social worker, Karen Smith. And I told her that I think a lot of people around Michigan was making up lies about me and saying that I impregnated a lot of ladies, or maybe somebody put drugs or sleeping pills in my food way back when I was in my early 20s and I just didn't know this kind of stuff happened, or maybe even in my teenage years and I never knew that this kind of stuff happened. And I said that the only way that would be possible, especially if it's somebody saying that I impregnated them when I was a teenager, is if sleeping pills got put in my food. And somebody found a way to get my sperm and give it to some other lady. So I believe that when I was in my early 20s, maybe some lady took the condom that I used and then gave it to somebody else. I was in deep belief that had happened a nice amount of times when I was living in Detroit. It probably happened to me when I was living in Fort Myers, Florida, from December 2013 to June 2018. The whole point I'm making is I brought that up to this one lady named Karen Smith because she was a social worker inside of the Testimony House of Love Shelter. Listen, the social workers that work inside of these shelters, right? They're not in the same exact areas where the people that be in the resident side of the shelters be at. They be in the office side, little cubicles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Their job is practically to just get people moved into a specific apartment or another home and stuff like that. That's their job. You know what I'm saying? So they practically told me to get out when I brought up my stuff coming up missing and all the foul shit that was happening in that shelter. I went to the Los Angeles Mission Shelter again on 5th and San Pedro from September 11, 2024 to September 17, 2024. I practically booked a bed every single night. And then I went to the Tiny Home Shelter on 3rd and Parkview Street, you know what I'm saying? Or 3rd Street of Corona Lane in Los Angeles, California. And I was there from September 17, 2024 to June 10, 2025. I brought up while I was living there also to the lady that was a social worker. It was this one lady named Lily that worked there at first. That was my social worker. The social worker, once again, is the people that work inside of the office area that just help you find a place to move to, to a place to live at. Then they moved me from the lady Lily to the lady named Trinity. I don't know why they switch up and switch social workers and stuff like that. So everybody that is at a shelter has a social worker. Everybody do. It's the person practically that you talk to when you first walk up in the shelter and check all your stuff in. It ain't like you gotta be. You don't have to have a problem or a psychological problem or a drug abuse problem. But everybody that works there to get a specific assigned person that lives at them shelters. So with that being said, I brought that up to the lady Trinity also, and I said that I think sometime in South Carolina somebody made up a lie about me, and I just left it alone. I said I've been doing a lot of crazy stuff, and I also brought it up to this one another lady that wasn't even my social worker. I talked about how I've been like through a lot of stuff throughout my teenage years and my early 20s, and people still trying to hold that to my name, and people still trying to like get a rise out of me and try to get me to move in a negative way. Because when I was younger, I used to be way quicker to just demand respect. So it being that I'm moving in a way more cooler, cautious way now, people saw that as a weakness, and that's why my phone was getting hacked so bad. So I was just talking about that. But the whole point I'm making is I left and went to Michigan, June 10th, 2025, right? One day, I'm walking through the Regal Tower Apartments in Southfield, Michigan, because I was living with my auntie Mary Smith when I was living in the Regal Tower Apartments in Southfield, Michigan. And that was from June 10th, 2025, all the way to October 1st, 2025. While I was living there in the summertime of 2025, I don't remember the exact month. I think it was July or August time of 2025. I saw a lady walking through the parking lot of the Regal Tower Apartments. And again, this is around like August of 2025, I believe, and it looked like this lady named Trinity that worked at the tiny home shelter on 3rd and Coronado Street in Los Angeles, California. If that wasn't her, it looked like a sister, a cousin, or a twin sister. She looked at me and kind of sort of looked away, and she looked at me kind of sort of like she recognized me, but she looked away. And she went inside of the building. That was practically like the leasing office over there. You know what I'm saying? And it was also the office, the little hallway that goes to the pool, and it was also a workout room in there. All of that is connected to the Regal Tower Apartments in Southfield, Michigan. So I'm recording this video to say right now, if anybody that worked at any of them shelters, the Testimonial House of Love shelter over there on Slauson and Western, the Los Angeles Mission shelter over there on 5th and San Pedro, the tiny home shelter over there on 3rd Street and Parkview Street, or 3rd and Coronado Street, if anybody is stating that I knowingly said that I had kids or something like that, or I'm running from somebody saying that they got my kids or something like that, I'm being lied on, I'm being framed. I am being lied on, I'm being framed. If anybody that was living at them shelters or working at those shelters are trying to, or have ever tried to depict me to look like that I was doing something like that. Because I brought that stuff up to not just people that was working at these shelters, but the people that was living there. I said that some type of lie got told about me when I was living in South Carolina, St. George, South Carolina. Now, I'm going to go off the grid and talk about what's really going on. It's a lot of secrets in this world that exist. It's a lot of people that's off in the secretive organizations. And this is why, you know, people don't want to talk about cloning existing, because there are facilities that exist where people can be cloned. They can take your blood, they can take your hair, they can take your saliva, and they can literally grow out a version of you and clone you. Completely, whole 100% clone you. And the original version of you could get kidnapped, be sold off into sex trafficking, be being held captive somewhere. And they can hold that person hostage and tell other people that's in the same exact organization as theirs, listen, y'all go do what we say, and if y'all don't do what we say, we'll take this person's life, we'll rape this person, they'll threaten to do all these kind of things to the original version of that person. So this person could be in a haven somewhere safe, God willing, you know what I mean? God willing that they in a safe haven. And the clone version of them could be at their home, could be at their job. You know what I'm saying? And everybody would be thinking that that's the original version of them, because if they actually took a blood test or a DNA test, it would come up 100%. People don't believe that that can happen. One of my cousins told me that I'm going against God if I believe that clones exist. And I'm not saying that somebody can be literally revived from the dead. I'm saying that a human being's DNA can be put in a lab and it can be grown up to a whole adult. They can be cloned. They got facilities that exist like that. I didn't know that that kind of stuff exists until October 2024, when a picture was sent to me that looked obviously photoshopped that my sister Keisha sent me. Not to mention, my mother has been cloned. With all this being stated, with all this being said, when I moved to California, a lot of people had it made up in their mind to just make it worse for me, make things way worse for me. They hacked my phone, they lied on my image, they framed me, they defamed me, and they hacked my phone with voice recognition, and then reeled my family members out and had my family members believing that they were talking to me, but they wasn't talking to me. That was talking to somebody that had a mimicking app that sounded like my voice, so when they spoke through the microphone, it comes out talking just like me. My lingo, my accent and all, you know what I'm saying? So it sounded like they was actually talking to the Detroit accent type of AJ when they was really talking to somebody on the other end that was most likely in a gang or in a brotherhood like a Mason, or a lady that was in a sisterhood like an Eastern Star, you know what I'm saying? And what they were doing was, they were probably saying, yeah, come by, come through, yeah, come to Los Angeles. And then my family members came to Los Angeles, got reeled out, got kidnapped, got cloned, and possibly is being held captive somewhere else. It sounds crazy, it sounds like a conspiracy, but it's not. That's the truth. So I be praying that to God all day, every day. If I got family members somewhere else, I pray that they're safe, they're healthy, and they're alive, protected from evil and danger, delivered from evil and danger. So it's certain people that's off into these organizations that know this is going on, and what they've been doing for a long time now is trying to depict me to look like that I'm a part of the Mason Brotherhood, or trying to make it look like I actually set my family members up. They trying to frame me and sabotage me, yo. This is what's ongoing. This is what been happening. And I'm going to say again, I've been celibate since February 2022, meaning no sex, no foreplay, nothing. Since February 2022. I've been sober since February 2023. No smoking, no drinking. I'm not taking anything recreationally like prescription pills or anything like that. What's so crazy is the doctors gave me stool softener pills way back in, like, I think this was October 2024, because I told them I got internal and external hemorrhoids, and they gave me those. I went to the store about a couple months ago, come back, I see all of those stool softener pills all out on the floor. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have them when I first came here to Bonita Springs, Florida in early October 1st of 2025, because I left a bag with some of my clothes in it at my auntie Mary Smith Apartments at the Regal Tower Apartments in Southfield, Michigan. But look, I'm going to say again, when I was walking through the Regal Tower Apartments in Southfield, Michigan in the year of 2025, around July or August time of 2025 to be exact, I saw some lady walking through the parking lot that looked similar to this lady named Trinity, yo, that lived in Los Angeles, California, but worked at the tiny home shelter. And I said, what the hell is she doing all the way in Southfield, Michigan? What the hell is she doing a 5-hour flight, a 5.5-hour flight away? So when I saw her, I didn't say anything. I just looked at her, and she looked at me, and she kind of looked away. If that wasn't Trinity, it looked like her. Or it looked like a sister or a twin sister of hers, or a female cousin of hers. It looked like somebody that was in her same, like, relation or something. Like she looked like she could have been related to her. Put it like that. So if a whole lot of these celebrities and a whole lot of these social workers that's grouped up together, and they have came forth and said that I'm knowingly running from some lady that's saying she got kids by me or something like that, I'm being framed, I'm being lied on, and they know that they are framing me and lying on me, and they probably being paid to do it. I'm going to say again, if it's any social worker that I was around, I only had 2 different social workers. You know what I'm saying? The testimony I was to this lady named Karen Smith, and then it was also this lady named Trinity. It was this lady named Lily at first, but then they switched up and then gave me this lady named Trinity. And then they tried to write down on the paper when I first came to the tiny home shelter to go to some type of a mental health class. And I said, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. Because they said that to just write down your goals, you know what I'm saying, while you at this shelter. I'm like, yeah, get my own place. I'm working on some stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? I know that I'm working on the business right now. That's the main thing I'm focused on, is getting my own place and then continue to work on that business. Even when I start working at some job somewhere, it's not going to be my biggest priority. You know what I'm saying? My biggest priority is like the business that I'm working on. You know what I'm saying? I didn't elaborate all the way to the fullest with that lady on that, but I did elaborate as far as telling her that I've been lied on in the past, that I've been framed in the past and stuff like that. But then she wrote down on the list, oh, I got to go to some type of a course or something for like mental health, and it'll be way easier for me to get my place. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that, because you could take that file right there and then you can use that against me in the courtroom somewhere and make me look mentally ill. I'm not doing that. I told her I'm not doing that. That's why it was crossed out on the paper. I actually put that a recording up on the internet. That's why I was crossed out, because I told her I'm not doing that. Somebody could literally record me while I'm asleep after drugging my food and then take that piece of paper and then frame me. So if anybody that's a social worker is walking around stating that I'm mentally ill, or I'm schizophrenic, or I'm bipolar, or stating that I had sex with somebody, or stating that I'm running away from some lady who's saying she's been impregnated or something like that, I'm being framed, I'm being lied on, yo. And if it's anybody saying that they had kids about me recently, somebody please let me know as soon as possible, because once somebody got the job position of a social worker, they can lie on me and get away with it and make me look mentally ill and get away with it. And once somebody got some type of a psychology degree, my auntie Adele got a psychology degree. She can make a statement up about me right now that's not true. It completely frame and sabotage me, and I'll never know it. So it's power behind the job that you work at when it consists of basically working for the city or working for the state, or it's power behind the degree you got, no matter what kind of degree you got, but no matter what kind of certificate you got. So I'm about to put this up on my YouTube, yo. And I said a long time ago, I reached out to certain female celebrities. I've never received a response. Never. So if any of these ladies think they've been talking back and forth with me, you are not talking to me, you're talking to artificial intelligence. That goes to all these female rappers, all these female singers. It's a whole team of people lying on me. And I guarantee you a lot of them are Masons and Eastern Stars. So I believe that certain people are holding certain family members of mine captive somewhere else. Only God knows why. And they telling other people, giving other people specific instructions around where I live at and telling them, yeah, keep hacking this phone. I'm not stupid, homie. I could tell when it's a whole team of people hacking my phone. You don't got to tell me that you're hacking in my phone, but I've been in Bonita Springs, Florida since October 1st, 2025. When I woke up on October 2nd, 2025, I realized there was a little bit of sperm in my boxer shorts, and I went to the urgent care, went to the emergency room, And then also made a report to the cyber hacking agency after that, just to stay on the safe side, just in case of some lady be running around out here saying that she been impregnated by me. That's the reason why I do things the way I do things, because I'm not about to let somebody frame and sabotage me. So if any of these people in Los Angeles, California has come forth and framed me in any kind of way at all, you know what I'm saying? They made sure that I did not hear that conversation that was being held that consisted of me getting framed, defamed, and sabotaged, and scandalized and slandered, you know what I'm saying? And again, early August 2024, I woke up and I had like a glimpse of a memory, feeling like while I was asleep, somebody was standing over me. I told that to my auntie Mary Smith. She told me she didn't know what I was talking about. I talked to her about early August. I felt like it was somebody like yanking on my shirt and was on top of me in the middle of her living room when I was sleeping on that queen size blow-up mattress, sleeping on my back. And she told me, I'm overthinking. And I'm like, no, I actually was asleep, but if I was dreaming, that was one hell of a vivid dream, because it felt like somebody was yanking on my shirt while I was laying on my back, yo. Sleeping on that blow-up mattress. I was sleeping on a queen-size blow-up mattress in the middle of my auntie Mary Smith apartments at the Regal Tower Apartments. This was like October 1st or October 2nd of 2024. And I also included how I went to about 3 different urgent cares, 3 different emergency rooms and everything, trying to get my urine and my blood examined right after the 29th of June 2025, yo. Because I believe that something that happened to me in my sleep, and the only way that something can happen to me in my sleep and I not even defend myself is if sleeping pills was put in my food or my bottle of water, I drank something, ate something, went to sleep, and then I went to an even deeper state of unconsciousness once I fell asleep, because whatever was in my system kicked in and activated me to be more unresponsive while I was asleep, while I was unconscious. And somebody could actually take my sperm while I'm unconscious and then give it to someone else and then frame and sabotage me. And no one will ever believe that someone would do something that messed up to me, but that kind of stuff exists. That kind of stuff can happen. So I'm going to say one more time before I get off this phone, if it's anybody that's a social worker or anything in Los Angeles, California, stating that I had sex with someone, or I was running away from some lady who's saying she got kids, or saying that I knowingly said or admitted to something to having kids, I'm being lied on, I'm being framed. The whole time I was in Los Angeles, California, I brought this up to people that were social workers. I brought this up to people that were just regular residents at the shelters. And I said that I think it's somebody lying about me, and that was it. So talk to me in person, and that's to everybody, yo. Talk to me in person. Do not listen to what the fuck somebody tell you. Don't ever listen to what the fuck somebody is telling you, especially when they're part of some brotherhood or sisterhood that consists of being a Mason or Eastern Star. Talk to me in person. Don't pay. If you hear so much as one time, me state one time, my phone is hacked, and talk to me in person, that means talk to me in fucking person. Because ain't no telling what the fuck they gonna do to my cell phone next time. So it could be somebody running around right now lying on my image, saying that they having sex with me. If you sitting back watching my phone, playing charades all day, talking stupid, acting like, oh, I know something you don't know, and grinning and smiling and shit like that, in the next 6 months, that same person that was making up a lie about me is going to find a way to get my sperm. A year later, that same person that made up a lie about me is going to pull up to every single stop that I make, whether I go to the beach or whether I go downtown area next to the river, or whether I just go to a store. It's going to be somebody parked next to that car, parked in the parking lot, taking a picture of a car, and then they're going to be putting it up on the internet. While I'm spending the next 3 months trying to vindicate myself, talking about how I just don't feel right and the vibe wasn't right. Everybody has to, that's that person's audience on Snapchat or Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, Vimeo, whatever you want to call it. They gonna be believing that I'm talking back and forth with some lady that I don't even know. Then when some lady say she had a baby by me, people be thinking that I'm schizophrenic and I'm bipolar. So if some lady is making up a lie about me, saying that she's some social worker at all, saying that I'm bipolar or schizophrenic, or I'm running away from some lady with kids or anything, somebody let me know as soon as possible, because that means all of them is lying on me. I'm being defamed, I'm being sabotaged, I'm being framed. God bless everybody. It's 11:56 p.m., yo. August 24, 2026.